Hey guys, Luke Blackwell with Blackwell Realty and Auction here, and I wanted to do a video dedicated to land auctions because I'm headed to one right now, so it's fresh on my mind, and it's not a topic I've ever covered, I don't think. So I wanted to kind of explain how they work, and if you're somebody that's looking to, find some land to build on, these things are good to pay attention to and attend, because you just never know. And I say always go into any auction with a plan. You always want to have an idea in mind. If I'm not your real estate guy, consult your real estate person and see, kind of where you need to be on it, because it's easy to get excited and get competitive and overpay for something. But even with a plan in mind, if it goes for more than what you were thinking, but it's still within your budget, it may still be worth it. But you got to kind of fill that out and feel what's comfortable to you. But land auctions are a little bit different than like a house auction, for example, because you're not actually auctioning off the individual tracts, but they're actually going price per acre. So what happens is, say you got 10 tracts and the first winning round is $10,000 an acre. That winning bidder could pick whichever tract they want, however many tracts he wants. He could sweep the whole table if he wanted to. It's not typical, and usually that first round is the highest amount from what I've seen. So I try not to be a bidder in that first round, but kind of like to see where that lands. But in the second round, after that person makes his pick of one or two or however many tracts, the second winner could go for 8 an acre, and that person picks his, and then it typically goes a little bit lower from there, and then you're kind of getting into less desirable tracks typically too, but you never know if you might catch something right. So but things that you want to keep in mind too, you want to look at the building restrictions to make sure that it's going to fit whatever you're trying to do there, whatever your purpose is. If it's restricted only to site built and you're looking to put a brand new modular manufactured on it, then it's probably not the one for you, unless you decide maybe it's worth building instead if you really like the tracks. But also too, you want to keep in mind what the soil areas look like, how it lays out. Make sure they're not super steep lots that you'd have to build a bridge or a culvert to get across, or put your house way up in the back, because the further away that you put it from the road, the more expensive it is, because you're running utilities and driveway a lot further. And also too, like I said, you want to look at the soil areas, because when you take a raw piece of land that you're trying to figure out what to do with it, first thing you do is you get a soil scientist to look at it, and that soil scientist will prod around, and they'll look for candidates for soil areas, and they'll kind of drill into it to see how far before it hits rock, and depending on the size and depth of that soil area, how quickly it absorbs water, and whether it has a reserve soil area determines what kind of a perk you can get. And so what's most common out here is a 3-bedroom perk. Sometimes I see 2, sometimes I see 4. I've even seen 5 and 6 bedroom, but what that means is, like a 3-bedroom soil area is really meant for 4 people living in a home. So, couple and the master and 2 other, bedrooms. So that's why 3-bedroom, they're accounting for 2 in the first one. But also really what that means, you could build as big of a house as you want. You're not restricted to building a 3-bedroom home. You could build a 10-bedroom house on a 3-bedroom perk if you wanted to, but if you were to go to list it after you've built it, if you were to put it on the market, you'd have to advertise it as 3 bedrooms plus 7 offices or whatever, if that makes sense. So it doesn't restrict you to what you can build there. It just it's just your soil area. So what happens is, waste coming out of the house will go into the septic tank, and once it reaches a certain level in that septic tank, it'll drip into the field lines, and those field lines feed into that soil area, which causes it to evaporate eventually. So that's the whole idea there. And you can have a bigger family with a 2-bedroom soil area and may never have any issues with it. But looking at these tracks, that's one thing that you kind of want to keep in mind, and just know 3 bedrooms most typical. Just make sure you're buying something you're comfortable with, and that's something you want to keep in mind. It's something you want to look at on any land that you're buying, because that tells you what you can do with it. And really what makes land valuable is how it lays, how clear it is, and how many uses you can get out of it, really. Because if you think about this, this farmer that broke up these tracks, what he did is he got a soil scientist out there, and he had plenty of road frontage where he could do it too. But the more building tracks that he could get out of it, the more valuable it was. So, he'll probably make pretty good having broken this up today. So, but that's land auctions. They're a good thing to keep in mind. Like I said, it's hard to find good building tracks right now, so it's good to pay attention to these and attend them. And if you ever have any questions or anything I can do for you, give me a shout. Have a good Saturday. Thanks.